Hey, thank you for clicking on this video. In the Porch League, we've been talking recently about team building. Connor had a question after one of his games about how people approach team building, and so I'm going to give a little bit of a rundown of what I do. Now, every week for me is going to be slightly different, but there are some things, there's almost like a method that I have, and so I will go through different parts of that method with you. The first part of that method I'll call the Jamvad team preview approach. And this is based on these two videos that he put out in a series about how to get good at Pokemon, where he just talks about how important it is on team preview to kind of assess what your team can do and what your opponent's team can do. And it helps you figure out what things on your side you need to keep around so that they don't win, and also what things you need to keep around on your side so that you can win. So one of the videos about team preview is what can't they guard against? And so if I'm going to mute this, if we scroll through, then we'll be able to see, like, on team preview, one of the things that Jamvad is doing is, okay, their team can't really guard against Metacham, except maybe Lottie when it comes in. So if Metacham ever gets a free switch in, it can hit very, very hard. The other kind of the opposite approach is in team preview is what can't you guard against, or what can't I guard against on their team. So looking at a replay like this, the example he uses is that Dracovish wins so long as, or as once Seismitoad dies. So
in this case, your Pokemon that cannot.
okay, so Seismitoad can't die, or Dracovish wins. And so if you watch sort of just this quick preview, this is an example where he gives away Seismitoad too early, keeps it in too long. I think it's against the Hatterene. Hatterene's able to take out Seismitoad, and then
Dracovish. Team preview.
Dracovish can ends up just sweeping later. There's nothing else. There's nothing that can get past it, so it ends up winning. These two questions really, really help in team building for me. I will look at my matchup and I will just ask these two questions. What can't they guard against, and what can't I guard against? And that will kind of, answering these questions and responding to them will help pretty much make the backbone of my team that week. So here I'll give a couple examples of me doing it in practice. And just because I felt like Sloop's match against Connor, when we built his team for it, I felt like it, honestly, there was kind of asking these two questions really did illuminate what type of matchup we had in the team building approach. So the first thing I'm going to look at is what can't they guard against. Right now I have these two teams sorted by tier. You can do it by speed, you can do it by tier. Doesn't whatever your preference is. And so first I'm going to look at something like Excadrill, because it feels like this team is built around Excadrill doing well. So Excadrill could be good against Clefable, Cobalion, Regieleki. I'll have to see about Indeedee Fimo, but I'm assuming that Excadrill can do pretty well against that. If I'm faster than it, so if it's Sand Rush, it does well against Tentacruel, a Rock Move, Coverage, help Oko's Charizard, I'm sure. Maybe I'll do the calc. Cinccino. Okay, Basculin might be a problem. And then, honestly, Excadrill looks really, really good this week. So let me just, like a Sandrush Excadrill. And I'm just going to throw in the calculator, I'm just going to put in some of these calcs. Okay, so right here I'm seeing that Earthquake does about 50 and more to an offensive Garchomp. So I'm looking at that and I'm already thinking like, oh, Swords Dance Excadrill seems to be a thing that, I mean, I'm going to continue to do just some quick calcs. You know, I don't really know if it's going to be Earthquake, Iron Head. I don't know. You know, we don't have everything figured out right now, but let's just go through this. Clefable, I'm sure. I do well against, yeah, Iron Head. What happens if I'm not +2? Iron Head does well, but it's not amazing. And Clefable does get Flamethrower coverage. Okay, so Flamethrower is doing about half. Let me try this with, was it Iron Plate? Or let's just say Life Orb. Let's go Life Orb. Excadrill is doing well. Okay, so right now I just have these. Okay, I'm turning Stealth Rocks off just because. This is looking good, but Clefable is pretty bulky, so I need to make sure that I get some chip off on it. That's actually a really good calc though. Getting rid of Clefable would be great. Cobalion, I'm sure I do. Yeah, Earthquake kills without, if I'm Life Orb. Okay, so I probably want to be Life Orb. Let's see what this looks like without Life Orb. 83 to 99. Yeah, I'm thinking Life Orb is the way to go this week. Life Orb, and just so I'm not, Earthquake and Iron Head hit pretty much everything. I could just hit Earthquake against here, Iron Head, Earthquake, Earthquake. And I mean, that's going to be better than any coverage move. Earthquake or Iron Head, Earthquake. Charizard might be the only example of where Earthquake and Iron Head don't have coverage. So I'm going to look at my rock moves. One of the most accuracy is Rock Tomb, and I really don't think. Whoa, that was annoying. Weird. Hold on, let me just restart this. Excadrill. Life Orb. Against Charizard. And then let's just put Rock Tomb on it. I'm sure it does. Yeah, it does a whole lot. So we'll just add Rock Tomb because it has the highest accuracy. And all I really need to do is hit Charizard. I don't need to do anything more than that. I need Gigalith because I'm running Sand Rush. Does he have anything that completely walls Excadrill? Honestly, it might. Leafeon might be the only thing that completely walls Excadrill. Just because can resist both stab moves. Let's say if this was because it has 130 defenses. Yeah, this is actually. So Leafeon, I'm going to need to make sure I have a way to beat Leafeon on my team. Maybe that's just chip damage from other things. But, you know, this Leafeon also gets Wish and Protect, so this could be a rather annoying Pokemon for me. I'll take note of that I win if I get chip damage on Clefable, if I get a Swords Dance up, and if I'm faster than most of his team. If you look, Excadrill's at 88 base speed. The reason I was thinking Sand Rush is because the only things that are slower than it are Blossom, Indeedee, and Clefable. So I really need that Sand Rush speed. Let's see. Do I have anything else that just kind of goes in? Probably Dracovish. Let me do some. I mean, Dracovish is another example where 75 base speed against all of these Pokemon that are faster than it. So I'm thinking Scarf, or because I'm already running the Sand, I could probably run the Sand Rush. Yeah, and Sand Rush might be better too because Garchomp gets moves like Scale Shot, which boosted speed. Let me just look though. So I need to change this to Sand Rush. Put it in sand. Yeah, let's just try Choice Band to see what goes on. Against Garchomp. Okay, Outrage. Sand. So Vicious Rend and Outrage do well. What about Clefable? Vicious Rend does a whole lot. So Dracovish could probably actually break for Excadrill. I'm a little bit worried because they both need sand, so my Sand Setter needs to stay alive. But that seems good. Vicious Rend, Outrage for certain coverage. We can figure out the other moves later. So yeah, you'll see I don't have everything figured out. I'm not EVing as I go. Sometimes I do, depending on just so that if I have like a certain calc as I'm going through, I'm like, oh, I have to make sure I hit this benchmark. I might throw it in here. I have been running Adamant on these calcs, so I might do something like that. Gigalith, I'm sure this will be my Stealth Rocker. But I'm just filling this in as I go, and the goal isn't necessarily to fill my whole team. I'm just starting with these two things. What can't he guard against, and what can't I guard against? I think that's pretty much it on our side for just the simple, quick, what can't they guard against? And now when I look at Connor's team, a lot of these calcs I've been doing have been against Garchomp. So let me just look at a standard Garchomp set. Okay, so scale shot, even without the Swords Dance, kills Dracovish. That's annoying. And if you see here, so like if I put sand up, that puts my speed at 498, and if he gets off a scale shot, that puts him at 499. So this isn't so Garchomp is very scary actually. And what moves it? So if I do scale shot, Swords Dance, Earthquake, Stone Edge, I'm just gonna add in. Let's assuming I get a stone Swords Dance up. This is a fully set up Garchomp. Can anything just Earthquake and Stone Edge? Earthquake, Stone Edge, Scale Shot, Stone Edge. So long as Garchomp's faster, this will fall. Earthquake, let's just double check. I know Gigalith is. Yeah, Earthquake is destroying. Stone Edge. Yeah, so there's not really much on this team for Garchomp. So what can't I guard against? Garchomp is an example. Clefable, honestly, can almost be that way too because Mandibuzz is sort of one of the defensive walls, and Clefable's Fairy ruins that. Dracovish can deal with Clefable. Excadrill can deal with Clefable. So Clefable's up there. I'm going to say that Clefable I can't guard against so long as Excadrill dies. So this might be an example where, if you have two ways to sweep at the end, let's keep Excadrill around instead of Dracovish. Like Excadrill, this is really the premier attacker because as soon as this goes down, then Clefable becomes a Pokemon that this team can't handle. Yeah, Dracovish looks so much less scary if the sand's down too. So I'm thinking Garchomp, Clefable, maybe Indeedee, and honestly Tentacruel looks pretty scary too just because with what I'm currently bringing, Tentacruel could just, if it gets a chance, it can just click Scald and burn something. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, Garchomp is the scariest out of those. Tentacruel's not really offensively scary, but I need to figure out ways to deal with Tentacruel. Could Scald and even like a Toxic Spike could be very annoying. So what can we do for Garchomp? When I'm looking at this thing and I'm answering the questions, what can't I guard against? Obviously, I need to build around that. Sometimes the answer is, um, I can maybe respond with a defensive check. This week, honestly, I don't think there's a defensive check to Garchomp, so I'm gonna go. We need to just make sure we have enough offensive checks for Garchomp. So Excadrill, we found out, could do something, revenge it in the sand. Dracovish can maybe revenge it in the sand, but honestly, that's so much pressure on sand. Do we have something? What's faster than it? Rabombi and Espeon are the only things faster than it. And this gets scale shot. So we might be forced, I'm just going to put this in, it might not make the final cut, but we might be forced to run Choice Scarf Espeon with Dazzling Gleam, because then this would outspeed Garchomp in the, after the scale shot. Let's just look at that. Espeon, Choice Scarf. Okay, so yeah, we don't have much. We don't have much to do with. We don't have much ways to beat Garchomp. Honestly, it might just be the Excadrill coming in, sack the Gigalith, bring in the Life Orb Excadrill, and we're doing 63. That's not good. Okay, so what were the other things that I... So now we have a potential way. If Sand is up and Excadrill isn't, and Garchomp isn't set up, Dracovish does okay. Same with Excadrill. Espeon kind of helps if Garchomp is set up. Let's see what else. So just so we don't miss anything. Oh yeah, we said Tentacruel might be something. Honestly, Zapdos looks like it can do, it can defog the hazards, and also just this thing getting scalded isn't, a scald burned isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, what are the other hazard setters? Cobalion. Does this thing get, I think this thing gets a fire move. Fire move, heat wave. Yeah, so maybe something like this. Maybe something like this, or toxic. Honestly, discharge might be a fun spamming move too, because his team's so fast. Anyway, so this isn't finished by any means. Like, we don't even have move sets on a lot of things. We haven't looked at EVs, but this will be sort of the start when I think about what can't they guard against and what can't I guard against. And I'll probably do a feature video on where to go from here. But for this video, I think I'm going to give a couple more examples. So for this next example, I will use Connor's team, since Connor had a question about this, but I'm going to choose a coach that Connor doesn't see in the regular season this time around, which is the Galar United. And I'm going to do the same approach as last time. I'm not going to finish building the team, but I'm going to hopefully get an understanding, a very fundamental understanding of what the matchup looks like, and where we go from there. I think this week I'm actually going to put it in speed tier order. Yeah. And I already see right now that the team is pretty... There's some fast things, but some of this is a little deceiving. Like Persian and Electabuzz aren't that cool. So Kartana, Nihilego, Zygarde are the fastest things. And our matchup is pretty good against that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask is, what can't they guard against? So, let's see here. I'm always going to start with the best Pokemon. You spent the most number of points on it. It was maybe Excadrill on the last team, and for this team, it's the Garchomp. And I'm just going to see, is there a set, or is there a way for Garchomp to, yeah, go hard with? And honestly, probably with, most of the time with Garchomp, the answer is yes. So on his team, Kartana's faster, gets the grass moves, which do neutral damage, but Kartana hits so hard, it's basically like super effective damage. Nihilego technically faster. And Zygarde is slower. So I want to, if I just run, actually, let's see here. If we go Garchomp, Rough Skin, if we go Earthquake, let's see here. Earthquake, Scale Shot. That covers these two. Scale Shot, Nihilego. Obviously, I'm going to have to do the Scale Shot calc. Let's go Swords Dance. And hear me out, Flamethrower. Because as I look at this team, it's like, what can't handle just Earthquake spam? Bronzong, Driftbloom, which Scale Shot will do fine against. Kartana. So these are the only two that really can't handle. I just want to do this. What is it? Earthquake, Scale Shot, Swords Dance, Flamethrower. So let's go to Garchomp. I don't want to do the calcs with Life Orb first, so I just want to use, let's throw on a different thing right now. Swords Dance, Earthquake, Flamethrower, Scale Shot. Let's see. Okay, so Flamethrower. It's not necessarily the Garchomp answer. Let me put a Life Orb just to see. Yeah, it's not doing that. It's not doing that much. I guess it gets Fire Blast. Still not that great, so I'm gonna pick Flamethrower just because it's better. And so now I'm gonna say Garchomp cannot break through Bronzong, even when set up, because Swords Dance and Scale Shot obviously aren't gonna affect Flamethrower. But here's actually why I want it. So I can Scale Shot and get faster than Kartana. Flamethrower is going to do so much. Let me just go back to these leftover counts. So now I'm just going to go +2. Let's say I get my Swords Dance off. Let's look at some of these other things. Zygarde, Scale Shot, Okos. Without Life Orb. Let me look at my Life Orb calc without. Okay, so with Chip, Scale Shot I can use to sort of set up in front of Zygarde. Let's look at Feeny. Let's look at Max Defense Feeny, +2. So this is going to work. What are some other? Nihilego, I don't even need a calc. I know that's going to be fine. Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee does have decent defenses, but oh no, it's special defense. Yeah, Earthquake's gonna wreck that thing. That's Life Orb. Without Life Orb, I think it still does a decent amount. So if you notice, I'm not assuming an item necessarily right away. This might be good for now. I am gonna have to run Jolly because I want to be faster than Zygarde. Zygarde hits 317 max. So I'm going to run Jolly and at least get to 3, just above 317. Let me just make sure there's nothing else on his team. So this gets Unburdened, so this can get very fast. What does Kartana get at if Kartana is Adamant? Adamant hits 317 as well. Okay, so yeah. I'm outspeeding Adamant Kartana and I'm outspeeding Zygarde. That's good. How do I guess I could look at Persian's calcs. What is Persian? 330. I don't think I want to add all that. No, I don't think so. We'll just start with this. Garchomp is done. That's all I need to do right now. Garchomp could be a late game cleaner. What were some of the other things that, I mean, he has what else do I have on my team? Can he guard against Clefable? Yes. Kartana, Bronzong. Can he guard against Indeedee? Oh, there's no dark type. We gotta add Indeedee then. Does this get Ghost Move? It does get Shadow Ball. I was looking at that because I noticed the Bronzong. What about the Indeedee on Blissey calcs? Let's just do Bronzong first since... Okay, so Mystical Fire, I need to be choice specs, I think. And Indeedee is 85 speed. I want to speed tie Tapu Fini, so I should be timid. Yeah, this should be basically the calc that I'm using. Or the EV set. EV set. So I'm going to see. I doubt this is going to... Expanding Force, yeah, 35 to 41. Does this get Psy Shock? It does get Psy Shock, so what is... I don't think I really need the normal coverage. There's so many things on this team that... So I'm just going to put Psy Shock. Oh, great. Expanding Force, Psy Shock, Mystical Fire. Honestly, though, Trick might not be a bad... Expanding Force, Mystical Fire. Is there any other coverage move I need? I think Trick might be a decent... Because, yeah, 2-hit KOing Blissey could be great, but also if I can trick the specs onto either of these. So that's actually going to be my Expanding Force, Psyshock, Mystical Fire, Trick. Let's just start with this. Psychic Surge to mess with the Tapu Fini. And then I said I need to be timid. The calc I was running was timid, max speed, max special attack. I'll just throw that there. Who cares? Okay. Now, I think that might be it when it comes to what I have in terms of what's difficult for him to guard against. Now I'm going to look at what can't I guard against. And Kartana does look very, very scary. I almost feel like I want to look at if this was Choice Scarf. Choice. It hits 522. I'm just looking at Regieleki right now. It just 522. Jolly Choice Scarf. This is the fastest it'll get. 522. Okay, so we'll just go timid. Okay, so I'm faster than Choice Scarf Kartana. Thunder Wave. Maybe Rapid Spin. Do I need to spin? What is it? I guess, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It doesn't really matter. Thunder Wave will be the way that I can deal with it. Because if Choice Scarf Kartana is slow, Garchomp can revenge it. I can also... what's its electric moves? Thunderbolt, Volt Switch. Let's just look at this real quick. Does it get another status move or anything? Is there a way that I could deal with... You know, actually reflect might not be bad. Reflect and light. Reflect could work against Zygarde, because is that what I want to do? I'm just going to put it in. None of these moves are set yet. Let's just see what this is like. Does he have webs? No webs, so I don't need, there's no reason for me to run heavy duty boots. What else is scary on his team? I mean, Feeney's scary, just because Garchomp needs to set up to beat it, and this can just Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Regieleki. I need to do a Regieleki calc on this then. Dual screens. I don't think Thunderbolt. Let's just. Okay, it's Tapu Fini. I feel like Tapu Fini, I should be looking mainly at the defense bold one. Okay, so I'm doing quite a bit. But if this starts setting up, that gets scary as well. I almost feel like I need to run Tentacruel with Haze, because it's faster than Fini. It's water moves. Oh, here's what we're gonna run. We're gonna run Liquid Lose in case he's running Calm Mind, Draining Kiss. Poison move. What's the poison moves that it gets? Sludge Wave, Scald, Haze. That's fun. Actually, that's really cool. Just get Taunt. Just not get Taunt. What other status moves does this thing get? Oh, does this get Knock? Yeah. Something like this might actually be pretty cool. Anyway, that's the first start. Is there anything else on his team? Do I have a way to beat Garchomp or Zygarde? Maybe I need to run Unaware Clef. Some sort of Clef set might be good. Because Clef does well against Hitmonlee, does well against Tapu Fini, if Tapu Fini wants to set up. Is Nihilego a problem versus this team? I'd have to run the calcs. I feel like Indeedee could just come in on it. And honestly, maybe an Unaware Clef. This might be the week for Unaware Clef. Alright. So that was just me answering these two questions. What do they guard? What can't they guard against? What can't I guard against? And I'm trying to respond to that. These things seem like good offensive options for me. And these things seem like they can guard against some of the most threatening things on Chris's team. Like I said, we'll get it. This might not be the moveset. Maybe the flamethrower tech isn't necessary. I don't have any EVs on a lot of these things. And we still don't really know about movesets on them either. But that is one more go at it, and I'll do one more example. All right, this last one is going to be for Aubrey, since she asked. Also, she was inquiring about how people built, and she doesn't play Adam this season, so at least not in the regular season. So we'll go with this one. I have it sorted by speed tier, mainly because I like, when I critiqued Aubrey's team, I said it was pretty slow. And so I know that that's something that I'm going to have to try to work around for this matchup. Let's see here. I'm going to go down here. I want to make sure I just kind of seeing what's going on this end. Okay. So what can't Adam guard against? What are the scary threats in this? Volcarona. Volcarona does not get ground coverage for Heatran, so maybe Volcarona later? That's tough. I don't necessarily. I would have to have a way to deal with heat train. Oh, I guess we have magnezone. So let me do. I'm just gonna do this. I'm not set on this right now, but Volcarona if magnezone can trap and take out Heatran. Heatran is faster, which makes it a little bit annoying. Let's run like a choice. What if we did choice scarf on a Heatran? Okay, this does not do much. What if I ran... Magnezone also gets body press. So still not amazing. Heatran's so good. I mean, I have Flygon for Heatran as well. So maybe with this Volcarona, I'm not really set though on maybe let's just start with Flygon then. Because Volcarona can actually do well against Buzzwole. Actually, so there might be some synergy here because Flygon looks good except maybe against Buzzwole. So I'm going to add that. Volcarona. We'll keep Magnezone just because, like I think it really will help out Volcarona. I feel like Volcarona shouldn't be brought without that. Let's look at these Flygon calcs. Let's see if Flygon actually is. So, Flygon. I don't want to run Choice Scarf. Let's just say Leftovers and Dragon Dance. Let's look at like a Dragon Dance set. Actually, Adam only has Clefairy. So what if I looked at like a Dragon Dance plus Earthquake Outrage? Does Outrage do Earthquake Outrage? Do I have anything for Primarina? Probably not. That's some good coverage. No, but let's see what Earthquake does to Primarina. If I'm +1 attack. Earthquake does actually a whole lot to offensive Primarina, and it actually still does some to a pretty bulky. What if I run Life Orb? Yes. So let's go Landorus. Therian. And let's say the Intimidate goes off. Now we're looking at Outrage here. Outrage is doing a lot. Can this really do much to me? I guess not really. So I could maybe even if there's the Intimidate comes off, I might be able to just keep setting up in front of it. What is... I mean... Do I have a move for Buzzwole? Flying moves. Dual Wing Beat. Is that going to do it? Buzzwole. Dual Wing Beat. Oh, that's awesome. That's against a pretty defensive Buzzwole as well. So I might start with this. I'm not set on this. You know, this last move could change, but I like it because it helps against Sarina, Buzzwole, Thwacky. Let me just see that calc against Primarina. No, I definitely should be Earthquaking, especially if I'm Life Orb. So let me just throw this in. Okay, that's a decent Flygon set. I don't like that Flygon is the best answer right now, but that might be it. And let's see if we can actually make a Volcarona set that works. Giga Drain, Fire Move, Fire Move, Fire Move. I need a move that's not maybe a bug move for Reggie Drago. Let me see that. That might actually be Quiver Dance. I'm just going to start with Flamethrower. If I need more damage, I could go Fire Blast. If I need less, if I can afford it and go Fiery Dance, I will. Bug Buzz. And what was the other one I said? I said Giga Drain? Yeah. Let's look at that sort of Volcarona. I don't want to look at the bulky ones. Volcarona, Offensive Quiver Dance, Flamethrower, Bug Buzz. Let's go Giga Drain. Okay, so I still need quite a bit of chip on this for this to really get through that. I'm obviously doing nothing to Heatran. Yeah. Oh god. Landorus, Therian. Flamethrowers, Rocking. That's awesome actually. Reggie Drago. Bug Buzz is doing quite a bit. So this might be a good like breaker at some point. With heavy duty boots. This might be something where I can oh, let's look at that. Do I need to run? All of these have been with Timid. What do I need to run Timid for? Nothing. I can run Modest. Because I'll be faster than Reggie Drago. And I need to set up anyway. I won't be able to set up in front of Lando. So if I run Modest, these calcs look even better. We got that one. Let's look at the Primarina one. Yeah, these look even better. Okay, cool. And if it's going to be my breaker, it's nice to have that. I feel like this has to be Scarf if I'm going to bring it at all. And I can always just... Oh, Volt Switch. In front of Heatran, I can always just Volt Switch into something like Chansey. Which Heatran can't do much to. I guess it has that trapping move, so I should run Teleport on this. I'm gonna, okay, so now that seems to be, I'm doing what can't they guard against, and I'm trying to just make sure these work. It's not as easy as last time where it was like, oh, Garchomp just goes in, or Excadrill just goes in. So I'm having to like add more than I want just to make sure that I actually have that sort of breaking power. Now I'm gonna think on his end what goes in against me. Kind of Primarina can. Takes out Pangoro. I guess Bulu can cover for that. But it has a good matchup against Volcarona and Flygon. So Primarina is kind of annoying. Heatran's definitely annoying. Do I have anything for Buzzwole? Yeah, I have Vulcan. Do I have anything for Lando? I don't have the best Lando counters. I have things that don't, or that can beat it, but I don't. This runs Swords Dance or something along those lines. It might get pretty annoying for me, especially if I'm running Modest Volk. Okay, so I want a Lando counter and I want a Primarina counter. Bulu might actually be a decent way to deal with. Let's look at Tapu Bulu. It's faster than okay, it's faster than Primarina. Is it faster than Timid Primarina? Yes, it is. So I can still run Adamant at 220 speed. I'm just going to put that in. Adamant. 220 speed. Gets me to 241. It's faster than Pre-Marina, so I want to make sure I have that down so I know what I'm doing. Do I need to be faster than that? 75, so I'm not faster than Heatran. Do I need to be faster than Sarina? Does Sarina get a... I'm just going to put it here. Does Sarina get a poison move? No. What's its physical moves? I guess it can run a flying move. It doesn't really have... It's not really like a... Okay, cool. So this might actually... I might be able to run pretty bulky Bulu. Ugh. Let's just see what this looks like. Moonblast does a lot, but I go first. Let's look at Landorus. Therian. I mean, Woodhammer does so much. Hornleech still does a lot. I feel like I need to run Woodhammer. What other grass moves does it have? It has Seed Bomb, Hornleech. Not much. Hornleech. What does Hornleech do to Primarina? Hornleech kills it. Landorus, Therian. It doesn't really have the best. Hornleech, I almost recover everything from Stone Edge. Oh, this is... You know, maybe I don't need that much. We'll see. We'll see. I can figure that out. Do I have anything for Buzzwole? Let's just see what Dazzling Gleam does to Buzzwole, because I don't think I need Stone Edge. What would I use Stone Edge against? Cryogonal? Buzzwole. If I had to, I could. I don't know, though. Nature's Madness could actually be a cool move, too. On the switch into Heatran. Okay. So that seems to be... Does he have anything... Does Adam have anything else that I can't guard against? Maybe Galar, Slowbro. I don't really know much about that Pokemon. But this is a good start. I actually like this matchup a little bit better now that I've worked through it, because there are some like hard counters of certain things. Magnezone could maybe almost work for some things, but Heatran walls it. Volcarona also walled by Heatran. Flygon, I need, if this were the team that I need to run, I need to make sure Flygon survives so that Heatran doesn't just win. Maybe for this last slot, I could be able to figure out something else about Heatran. Or maybe it's just Toxapex. Yeah. So anyway, those are 3 teams where I just looked at, kind of filled out, this just coincidentally was 5 Pokemon each time. It's not the goal to put 5 Pokemon. Sometimes it might be like, oh, Rillaboom, they can't guard against Rillaboom. And I'm going to need to bring Moltres to cover for, I don't know, their grass type, because that might be the only thing that Rillaboom can't guard against, or that Rillaboom can't break through. And so this might just be as much of this sort of prep, step 1 prep, as is necessary. I hope that helped. I hope, and like you can see, not everything's filled out. Some of these Pokemon don't even have any moves on it. Some of them have their moves figured out, but none of their EVs. Most of them don't have full EVs worked out. The only time I might have full EVs out is a situation like this where I understand the speed creeping that I have to do, and just the certain calcs might require, like this one, might just require the EVs. But that's step 1. Usually it's as simple as what can't they guard against, and what can't I guard against. From there, I might go into, basically the question is, how do you finish the rest of your team? What are the fourth moves on some of these Pokemon? And how to do EVs. Just real quickly, just because I don't know if I'll make other videos, a lot of the fourth moves and how to finish your team is based on specific interactions that you could see happening. So kind of an example of that is how I put Chansey in here. So because I know Magnezone is going to lock Heatran, I'm thinking, okay, well, I can Volt Switch on Heatran and at least get some damage off on it. And I can pivot into my special wall. So Chansey becomes this counter to Heatran. And then what's the possible interactions that could happen? Well, this could Toxic Beam, which doesn't matter because I'm Chansey and I can just heal that on my switch out. Or it could Magma Storm me and lock me into the frame or into that battle. And so I want to bring Teleport to break that that sort of situation. I mean, Chansey right now doesn't have an attacking move. He doesn't have a ghost type. So this might be as simple as just what's that one move that it always runs? Seismic Toss. Yeah. So it could be as simple as that, or it could be a little bit more complex. Like the reason I put dual wing beat on this was based on the possible interactions. If I'm running Earthquake and Outrage, looking at Pachirisu team, Earthquake and Outrage does well against everything except the physical wall on his team. So I'm looking for a coverage move. Not that just, I'm not going down here and being like, okay, what does he not do well against? Oh, he doesn't do well against rock. So I'm just going to put Stone Edge on this thing. I'm looking at the actual, how I can imagine if Flygon is out, what is Adam going to go into? That's sort of the thing about counter draft format. Or counter team format, which is what Draft League is he's going to build a team to counter my team. So if I can put a check on the check against the check, Buzzwole's the check for Flygon. If I can put something on there, I can do it. And that's how I figure out my fourth moves. It's not always just about what hits everything for equal. It's not always about what hits things for super effective damage. Sometimes it's just what does well against most things. So Magnezone, this Flash Cannon probably does well. Once Heatran is gone, Flash Cannon probably does well against most of the team. If I look down here, Steel might not be the way to go. But, once Heatran is covered for, Steel hits neutral against so much of this team, and especially against the Pokemon that I imagine him bringing based on what does well against my team. So, yep, that's part one. It might be part one of one. There might be more parts, but hopefully that was a good start for you guys. Bye-bye.